All right, before we get to our last game, which is the Monday night game, if you want to get free plays sent right to your cell phone every day, just go to jimbice.com. The top right-hand corner, there's a couple of boxes to put in a cell phone number. You get free daily plays right from Jim Bice right to your cell phone. And if you want to sign up for Jim's YouTube page, it's called Sports Betting. Just click on the link right above us. You'll get updates on free picks and videos from Jim Feist and all of us right here in Las Vegas, and it's free to sign up. Okay, our Monday night game is a long road trip for Seattle. They are favored by 7.5 at the Washington Redskins. Total went up from 45.5 to 46, and it's a good situational spot for Seattle. They come off the bye week, although this is the start of a stretch, playing 3 or 4 road games, long road trip. Meanwhile, Washington has had a little extra time, but it wasn't a pretty one. That was a Thursday night game against the New York Giants, and they got flogged 45-14. You know, this is a offense of Seattle that, well, looks like last year. They're 26th in passing, but they're 3rd in rushing, a run-oriented team averaging 148 yards rushing per game. And the defense has all the key players back from a year ago, and they're just as dominant. 5th against the run. Their last game was that overtime win against Denver, 26-20, and they really dominated that game. But their last road game was at San Diego, and they got pushed around. So, Hollis, how do you see this Monday Night Football contest?
Well, first of all, if you're going to bet Washington, I would wait until probably 15 minutes before kickoff, and you'll probably get the maximum amount of points. And that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to take Washington plus probably around 8 points or so. First of all, when was the last time they played a good game? Week 1 for Seattle. They lost to San Diego in week 2, which we all mentioned that usually Super Bowl teams have a little letdown after going into week 2. Then they had the overtime game with Denver. Forget whether they dominated or not. It's still an overtime game. They didn't. Well, I guess they covered, but just barely.
They blew a 17-3 lead.
Yeah, but you know what? They still blew it. I mean, the last time they put together 4 quarters was in week 1. Now, Washington, they're very balanced on their offense. They're 4th in passing, 13th in rushing, so they can do things. They can keep the ball away from, Marshawn Lynch and Russell Wilson and things like that. But look at Cousins. He has something that he could actually correct. I don't think Brady, going back to that last game, could correct anything in 1 week. But look at Cousins. If he could just settle, and drop straight back, I think he's a much better passer. What happened last week, he got chased out of the pocket. New York Giants were all over him. All 4 of his interceptions were outside of the pocket, outside the lines. He was on the move. And I think that's what you can correct, things like that. He's a really good quarterback. Don't go by what you saw the last time with your eyes when Washington got blown out on that Thursday night game. Washington's defense, they're 7th against the run. So I think they can stop Lynch a little bit. And I think that we should just take the 8. Maybe it goes to 8.5. And I'll tell you how most people think of the public when they go into Monday. The people that really panic the most, it was their week to lose. Every week there's a different pool of people that have a week to lose. Well, what happens is when the line is so close to 7, what they do is they think, you know what, all Seattle has to do is score 1 touchdown, and let's say they score first. That means for the rest of the game, all I'm doing is laying a point or a point and a half. And that's the mentality of getting these public buried. So let's take Washington plus the points. It's going to be a very difficult game for Seattle this week.
All right, this Redskins team 1-3 straight up, 2-2 against the spread. They're 3-1 over the total. They got a new coach here in Jay Gruden, and with this now Kirk Cousins as the starter, they've become a pretty good passing team. 4th in the NFL with 292 yards per game, and the defense, which has been pretty bad the last 2 years, has been markedly improved. 8th against the run and 13th against the pass. Washington, though, 4-10 against the spread when they face the NFC. So, Zach, they have any hope at all against the defending champs?
I think they do from an odds standpoint here. With 7.5, I think it's a good number, like Hollis was mentioning. And what I will go to a situational stat that I've been all over, and I'm not really a situational handicapper. Now, this is 2 years now. Divisional teams on Thursday games that are blown out, so divisional games only, they have covered at a whopping rate. It's over 80%. We just saw it happen with Tampa Bay versus Atlanta. Tampa Bay comes out, wins it outright at Pittsburgh. Now we've got another one with Washington coming off a blowout loss to New York Giants at home. So I think it's going to happen again. I'm not going to say they're going to win outright, but there's something about that trend that I love, and it's always a lot of points because the teams are coming off a 10, 11-day layoff. And this one's, 12-day layoff with it being on Monday night. There's a lot of time for the Washington Redskins to prep for this game. Seattle's coming off a bye week. But defensively, this is an even game. I think Washington will play a little bit better. Russell Wilson, they'll contain him a little bit. And Marshawn Lynch has not had his prototypical breakout game on the run. And I really don't see him having it this week against the Washington team that has been pretty good at stopping the run. And from a wide receiver standpoint, Seattle has struggled at covering receivers. Demaryius Thomas had a big game for Denver. San Diego chopped them up on the field with Keenan Allen. So receivers are having big field days, and Washington has as many talented wide receivers as you can think of with Deshaun Jackson. They've got a lot of depth. And there's a guy that hasn't even had a big game yet, Pierre Garçon. So let's see what they can do. Kirk Cousins, I'm really going to test him this week with this play. I'm not sure how he's going to respond after that bad loss to the Giants, 4 interceptions, but I'm going to go with him this week and take the Redskins plus the 7.5.
All right, I'm going to take a look at the total. This is a Seattle run-first offense. They're on an 8-3 run under the total. They held that great Denver offense to 20 points, actually 3 in the fourth quarter. And we all talked about the improved Washington defense. Washington is 5-3 under the total against the NFC. A couple of trends when these teams meet. Seattle 3-1-1 against the spread the last 4 meetings, and the over is 4-1, but I will lean toward a defensive game on Monday night. All right, let's give you some best bets and tell you what we have going on. Harvard 38-20, 60% since August 1st in all sports, and you're 4-1, 80% with best bets. All right on this show.
Well, speaking of 4-1, 80%, Zach just elated to the fact that his analysis on that last game, he's not a situational play, but even with that, it's in an 80%, category. Well, my situational game of the year, it's never lost. I mean, never. 34 years, never lost. That would be your best bet. Go to jimfights.com, look down there for Harvard. Situational game of the year by College Steam. Remember that, too. When there's a lot of steam, that's where it tells us the money. I don't care if it's in politics. I don't care if what it's in. If you follow the money trail, it's going to lead you to the cash. And that's my Steam play of the month in the colleges, my NFL upset of the month. If you think Dallas was a good upset, wait till you see this one. Get all 3 for $66. It'll be up later today. And I do have a best bet that I think just absolutely will insult this team when they find out that they're 7.5, 8-point underdog. Arizona. How the hell can they be 7.5, 8-point underdog to Denver? Denver's 22nd in scoring. They're not scoring that much. They both had bye weeks that they're coming off of. But look at the difference between the bye weeks. Arizona came off a bye week after beating San Francisco 49ers, and Denver, they were well spent after a bye week by going up to Seattle and losing that game. It's a complete different mentality on how you relax, how you spend your time, and things that you have to do to prepare this game. But I'm telling you right now, Arizona is for real. They play in the toughest NFC West, and make no mistake, this team can flat out play. 7.5, I would be insulted if I was the Cardinals. Take Arizona, but your best bet, like I said, is go down to the jimfights.com and pick up that 3-game package for $66. And like I said earlier, $22 per game, that's not a lot of cost. Or go out on your own, bet $200 on each game, and you're blowing $20 per game. So let's get this in and send that situational game of the year. Let's make that our cash cow this week.
All right, and Zach, 14-8 Saturday college football run, as well as 9-4-1 Sunday in the NFL. You got a nice package going this weekend at jimfights.com, as well as a best bet here.
Yeah, for best bets, I'm going to look to get back on the win column here. It's been 2 weeks of losers with ASU losing last week, but 3-2 on the year. We're going to go 4-2 this week, and I'm going to switch gears and go back to the NFL. That's where I've had more success on these best bets. But jimfights.com, I will have a 4 to 5 game package in the NFL, and similar amount of picks for the college. Dual package for $75, individual $50 for the NFL, and $65 for college. So there'll be a couple extra plays there. But I'm going to go. This is Harvard talked on this for consecutive weeks. When you go to the window and it's going to make you want to throw up, this is going to be one of those here. The Houston Texans +4 against the Dallas Cowboys, And if you look at Houston, they've been winning ugly, playing ugly offensively, probably bottom 5 in the league offensively. Arian Foster only had 20-something yards last week. Ryan Fitzpatrick, another awful game from a statistical standpoint with 2 interceptions. But they're still winning games somehow, and their defense has risen to the occasion. Sometimes people just overlook and just focus offense when you're putting in a sports bet. And I think that's what you're going to see here. Houston's offense has been awful. Dallas churning up yards, came back against St. Louis, destroyed the Saints, primetime game. Dallas is one of the best teams that people love to bet on. It's -4 for them. And statistically, though, they're not a very good home team against the spread. This is going to be a tougher matchup than people think, and Houston clearly has a better defense here. J.J. Watt people are saying he might be the NFL MVP, first time in quite a long time that could happen, defensive player win it, and they just have something going right now. I think +4 is too much here. Look for the Texans to keep this a good game, maybe get off to an early lead, and all we're going to wait for is Tony Romo and that Cowboys team to come up with their usual mistakes that they have. And one other thing I'll mention on this game, the Dallas Cowboys focus, and when have we ever seen them focus like that on a game against the Saints? Like I said, there's huge factors in that. The year before that, the Saints blew them out 48-17. The whole Sean Payton thing that was brought up on him coming to the Cowboys, they were dialed in for that game. And how many times do we see a team dial in for one game, and then the next week they either come out flat or they lose? So if they come out flat for that first half, look for the Texans to maybe have that 14-3, 14-7 lead going into the half, and that's going to be enough to maintain or that cover.
All right, best bet will be the Bears-Panthers game over the total. That's going Sunday. Jim Feist has an NFL division dominator going Thursday. He also has a rare high roller release online. He's 7-1 run with these plays. Smoked the books last week with Ohio State, Nebraska, the Colts, Ravens, and Texans, all high roller plays. These plays go for $500 a piece and up. However, this week only, $99 you can get them online. It is a Sunday NFL high roller release. You can find those plays and more at jimfeist.com. Make sure you take advantage with all of these Vegas pros. We'll see you next week with another version of the NFL version of ProLine. Good luck with the games, everyone.